Ladies and gentlemen, the situation is serious. What Ukraine experienced on the night of September 6, 2025 is very, very serious. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the impression that the conflict has just begun. The situation is alarming in Kiev, the Ukrainian capital. After a nightmarish night, a night of hell, Russia has no boundaries. We no longer know which saint to dedicate ourselves to. This is distress. In Kiev, everything is spoiled, destruction of equipment, no longer distinction between civilians and soldiers. The bombings have continued to echo throughout the capital. What does Russia want, ladies and gentlemen, in this video conference? It is this hot and burning news that we are going to talk about. But before you continue, you know the thing, you have to share the video conference to the maximum. You have to get a lot of likes. Always leave a review in the comments. You know, that's what motivates me in more ways than one. Yes, keep giving you the right information. Let's go into the depths. The Ukrainian State Emergency Service released shocking images. I can't put these images here. If not the platform will severely punish me. But the images are shocking. Civilians, all confused, stuck in the rubble. We are trying to make them. I'm telling you, it's not possible. So there were casualties, civilian casualties, including a child. For the moment, the toll that Ukraine gives is the official toll of 2 deaths, including a child. But there are more than 20 injured, 7 of whom are hospitalized, and among them, a woman in family status. Yes, and until then, it is not over yet because Russia struck one in Ivory Coast. We say Russia in Baku, Kiev, if before the Ukrainian capital was spared. But for some time, the Ukrainian capital has been regularly targeted. The worst is since the beginning of September, we don't know. What does September mean to Russians? Someone to tell me? Nope. They have multiplied by how much their strike forces. Strikes are intensifying, and they are not just strikes to deter, they are devastating strikes. Behind every number are broken lives. War does not only cause military casualties, it must be remembered, it also takes its toll on the innocent. In Kiev, there are many innocent people who are leaving. That is why we tell ourselves that war is not a good thing. This war must end. It must be said, no one will win in a war. There will be losses on both sides, but for now, let's go into the depths. There has been enough destruction in Kiev, and right now we are talking. There is total uncertainty in Kiev. The populations are in uncertainty. The authorities are in uncertainty. Is that the only place that is spared is the presidency. And that's not because Russia can't strike. Russia had recently released images of Zelensky's procession. Yeah, that means they're watching everything. She's watching everything. I was going to say the Russians are monitoring everything, but the problem is that they are going slowly and surely. Only that these last 48 hours, these last days, Russia has changed the pace. This is what surprises the world. The American president, Donald Trump, he has nothing more to say. He is overwhelmed to the bones. Then fear and waiting. Two realities that every capital experiences under bombs. Kiev is transformed into a field of ruins and resilience. It must already be said that the bombings hit the capital, especially in the district of Sviatoslav. This district has really been plowed. When I say plowed, I mean plowed. We don't even know what kind of missiles Russia sent. Is it Iskander? Is it Rashnik? But the capital was bombed. Even the mayor of the capital came out. This mayor called Vitaly Klitschko, he's out. In his statement, he indicates that people may still be trapped under the rubble. Maranatha. Do you see, ladies and gentlemen? This is Mr. Mayor. From the Ukrainian capital, Kiev, who came out to indicate that it is still possible that there are some people on the rubble because they have not finished getting everyone out, because homes have been reduced to ashes. Nothing is going on in Kiev anymore. I'm telling you as we speak, understand very well, Russia has rewound things. It was as if the conflict had just started all over again. The only difference is that at the beginning of the conflict, Russia was slowly leaving and people were saying, well, Russia is erasing this. But this time, the difference is that Russia has intensified this strike. I tell you, until the capital is targeted, and not just the capital, it is for the capital that is very, very alarming, extremely alarming. That is why we are talking about the capital, Kiev, but if not the whole Ukrainian territory, the east, the west, the north, the south, you yourself know. Even the center itself, Russia has deployed units at every point, a cardinal, east, west, north, south, center, even the river, the Dnieper. Its surroundings are not spared. Russia has combat units everywhere, so as soon as it starts there, here and there, that is why just now, Volodymyr Zelensky, who came out, he began to moan, to cry. He's asking for assistance. So it must be said that the situation is very serious. This is an emergency situation in Kiev and a total mobilization of emergency services. All Ukrainian aid was mobilized. It must therefore be said that the capital is taken now possible. Kiev is more than a city. It is the political and symbolic center of Ukraine. And what he had taken as a target is very serious. So every attack on the capital has a psychological effect. So terror. Show that no one here is safe. Because when there is war, we think it is in the peripheries. But if the capital itself begins to receive bombs on a regular basis until there are many cases in seeing eternal rest, it becomes worrying. So the reputed bombings seek to weaken the morale of the population. That's one of the goals behind it. And finally, if the morale of the populations is found to be weakened, but if you are not careful, the populations risk rising up against the leaders in place. For ineffectiveness, inability to put an end to this conflict. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is unfortunately the front page of the news. Thank you for sharing it as much as possible. I'll be right back with new information. So that was the voice of your humble servant, Robert T.